How's everybody doing? Okay, everybody, I assume is not doing super well. First of all, I'm Christ, I am disciple. You guys know me on Twitter as Us United, Restore the Snyderverse. I stand with Ray Fisher. Um, you can also find more of my content on uh, Facebook. Um, I have several Facebook groups. You have Justice League United, Man of Steel lovers, Batman v Superman lovers, Wonder Woman lovers, Aquaman lovers, Man of Steel lovers. I have worked on different campaigns, and one of them, of course, is Release the Snyder Cut campaign. They are people in for the Snyder Cut and so on. So I'm here to talk with you guys. But first, the floor is yours. The floor is yours, and you can come on here. You can say your piece. You can speak your mind. But ultimately, in the end, I must have my turn, as Batman would say, the Snyder Cut. So that's the first thing. I know there are some events happening right now. Warner Brothers just put out a trailer of the theatrical version of Justice League. And some of you guys are going to get more elated by that. But don't be. We want to talk about specific things on here. If you guys have watched Small Screen, Sil Abdul, Inc., Lightcast, a real, what are they called? Ping Pong Flicks, and several other major channels, Film Junkie, Film Gob, etc. You're pretty much well aware of what is happening, or what happened on Twitter yesterday. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to come on here and vent. Vent as much as you want. You can come on here as a guest, or you can use the chat area to vent. Do understand, you can vent as much as you want, but then I'm going to have my turn, and I'll get to say what I want to say. So you're free to say whatever you want to say. This is the forum to do it. Go ahead and vent. I know some of you guys are very angry. I understand. I identify with what your anger and your frustration with the process. But be that as it may, we need to have understanding, and we need to work through the situation so that we get what we want. The idea is that we want the Snyderverse restored. We want it mostly restored on HBO Max. And so for that to happen, certain strategies and certain measures I truly don't believe will work, and certain ones will. So first and foremost, before we go anywhere with this, I want you guys to be able to vent. So go ahead, come on here and vent. Let me explain to you how the program will go. Okay? So after you vent, it'll be my turn. And I will explain to you Hamada's plan, as I understand it. And then I will talk about WB Pictures and some of the attacks they've been doing, or jabs they've been doing, whether they're personal or not, because some people think it's not personal and some people think it's personal. Okay, so I remember from Beyond the Trailer, the lady from Beyond the Trailer, she was saying they are personal attacks and they're taking it personally. And some other people, like Small Screen, they say, no, it's not personal. We'll talk about Hamada's plan, but we'll also talk about AT&T's plans. Okay, and we're going to talk about how the media plays a role in how this whole thing is going down and why that is important to consider. All right, so we're going to look at those things. Well, I'll talk about what you can do, and then I'll just wrap it up. So the first thing I want you guys to do, the beginning of this thing, is go ahead and express yourself. If you have nothing to say, that's okay as well. But go ahead and express yourself. We're going to take time, give you the time to do so. I have other things to do in my day, but I set aside this time because I think this is important that I say my piece as a person, as a fan, express myself, and then you guys can go ahead and express yourselves as well. So this is your chance. This is your opportunity. Otherwise, I will just continue speaking and I'll take my turn. If you guys don't want to start, I will take my turn. And then when you can feel free to talk then. So this is your opportunity. Say whatever you want to say. You can leave comments in the comment section, as I said before, or you can join this stream right now and say your piece. But at the end of the day, this is your hour. This is your time. This is your time to talk. You get your time to talk, then it's my time to talk. So I'm giving you your time to talk. I'm giving you your time to say something. And if you don't use that time to say anything, I'm not going to waste time here just letting the clock tick over. I'm going to actually say my piece. So I'm going to give you guys one more minute to say your piece on this issue. Vent as much as you want. And then I'm going to say my piece. You got 1 minute to at least say something. Come on here, say something, make your response. You can come on here live, or you can comment in the comment section. Either way, I'm cool with it. So I'm just going to wait. Only for 1 minute, though. It's right now 3:30, so by 3:31. So let's just talk about some of the events that happened in the meantime while I'm waiting on you guys. So one of the things that happened was there was a retweeting by Inside HBO Max on Twitter of an individual who was posting not numbers, but he was posting a ranking. He posted that Mortal Kombat, Godzilla vs. Kong, and Wonder Woman, they had smashed records for HBO Max. He did exceedingly well. Then he said, sorry, Snyder, I think Snyder Cut Bros or something to that effect. And this is something that Inside HBO Max retweeted. Do I think that was a random something that happened? No, I don't think it was random. I don't think it was just some inexperienced amateur that did it. No, I don't think so. That was something that was very much just like the leaks of the Snyder Cut before its presentation. I believe this was very much something that was planned and something that came from the top down. Now, yes, the retweet was retracted, but just like what happened with AT&T, where AT&T made a comment a couple of days ago to David Ayer and to also David Ayer's script, and then they also removed the tweet. I believe their game's being played by AT&T and HBO Max, and the higher ups are very much aware of it. Okay, AT&T is pretty much expressing their side of the story. AT&T is very strong on the Snyderverse happening, and clearly, execs in Warner Media, particularly the Warner Brother Pictures side, have people in HBO Max, obviously, and elsewhere who support them and do not want the Snyderverse to continue. So, okay, I gave you guys more than a minute. It's 3:32 right now. I have to work to time. So I'm going to take my turn. You guys can you can leave your comments in between if you so wish. This is my turn time. So I'm going to talk. I'm going to give my piece on the whole entire situation. Was just watching at Sil Abdul's Inc.'s channel, and he was interviewing the small screen scooper. And the small screen scooper said that Walter Hamada was brought in by Warner Brothers to cut HBO, movie costs, production costs. They believe that, they've lost a lot of money through the COVID. They have, not done so well with certain budgets and certain movies. And on top of that, of course, they can't afford to continue along the path that they have been going. Now, that is the statement that the scooper is pitching. He also goes on to say that Zack Snyder's films are very costly to make, and the last film, which was Justice League, cost Warner Brothers, or Warner Brother Media at least, a ton of money. Okay, and they go on to say now, post-pandemic, Walter Hamada is brought on to cut costs on movies, and they can't allocate cost to certain things like Snyderverse, particularly Justice League 2 and 3. We've heard this before. Now, let me just go into some details of why that's absolute horseshit, and also why Hamada's plan, which I will chart out for you guys, is also contradicting that thought process. Now, the idea is that it'll go across the bad robot, sort of do the productions of these things. Ultimately, the DCEU will be in J.J. Abrams' hands somewhere down the road. So right now they're doing these low budget movies, iRobot and with New Line Cinema, these low budget movies that make profit but keep them afloat, sort of like. And then they have the bigger projects, like, for example, Black Adam's a big project. Wonder Woman 3 is a big project. I know that I said Wonder Woman 3, right? Pump money into Suicide Squad. Now, let me just say first and foremost, I've said this before, so I'm just going to be kind of repeating myself. And in Hamada, they're going to give like $500 million to J.J. Abrams to do a series and kind of reboot the DCEU in terms of heroes. We've heard about the Black Superman that's going to come, Kal-El, and it's reported that a certain actor, is going to be that person, and they're trying to reboot, revamp, and so on. Okay, so they're also going to use HBO Max as a platform to take their theatrical movies and then have a little series after it, kind of like do what Marvel is doing right now. Now, quite frankly, we already know this is the Marvel model. I'm going to say this categorically, that, like I said before, that plan is one in which they can go ahead and do that. But the excuse that there is no money to do the Snyderverse is the dumbest thing ever, because there is an air cut sitting down that has been completed according to the scooper and small screen. It's just ready to put into theaters or put on HBO Max. That costs no money to do. Also, the Trench being canceled, that would be James Wan's Trench movie being canceled, is not for lack of funds. That would not be a very expensive movie to do. Furthermore, New Gods has been canceled. They're saying New Gods would have been a big budget movie, blah, 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 blah. No, not really, but nonetheless, probably New Gods will end up on HBO Max. But let's leave that alone for a minute. The point is, Hamada is trying to flood projects both on HBO Max and both theatrically with his content. He's not trying to share this content or his works. He's sharing with the CW, so we'll have things like we always have, like Titans and whatever CW stuff can still end up on HBO Max. And again, Tommy Eric oversees that. So Hamada is going to be pushing out his stuff, and he's going to use HBO Max as the vehicle to get that stuff going. And then we have Tommy Emmerich, who's trying to coordinate with other things like CW, whatever. The thing about this that makes no sense is Ridley Scott has nothing to do with Walter Hamada or Tommy Emmerich, right? HBO Max puts out quality content, and they try to put out as much stuff and varied original stuff as possible. So here are two main reasons why talking about no money and no budget and just trying to push Hamada's plan alone on HBO Max when it comes to DC content or the CW verse is stupid. It's picking and choosing. First one, budget-wise. Budget-wise, you can't be telling me you're trying to cut costs on movies and films, and then Wonder Woman 84 was a freaking theatrical bust. It didn't even make back its budget. Okay? It did all right on the streaming platform, but it did not do well at all theatrically. But you greenlit Wonder Woman 3? Okay. Let's go on. Point number 2. Same point, sorry. Second example. You're going to pour out over $200 million into James Wan Suicide Squad. You already got a Peacemaker series lined up on HBO Max. Where you getting that money from? I thought you said you didn't have money. Example number 3. Right? Next big budget movie they're thinking of pumping money into is The Batman. The Batman. It has nothing to do with New Line Cinema. They're pumping in over $200 million into The Batman. No, sorry, my bad. Over $100 million into The Batman. Okay? So, and they're ready to throw money at Shazam, at Black Adam. They got Shazam 2 greenlit. Okay. Mortal Kombat cost a lot of money, over $100 million to make Mortal Kombat. And after all of that, they greenlight Mortal Kombat 2 without even thinking. Godzilla vs. Kong made bank, so it makes sense to do a sequel to Godzilla vs. Kong. It made bank. Ain't nothing else made bank theatrically. Nothing. Little Things didn't make bank theatrically. Judas and the Black Messiah didn't make bank theatrically. But you know what will make bank theatrically? The Snyder Cut. Okay. So that's Hamada's plan. Small budget, kind of cheap stuff, and then they pour their money into the blockbusters. And then they try to dominate HBO Max with their content. Okay, fine. Now here's the thing. They're not going to put out theatrically at the same time their movies and put them on HBO Max. They already made that decision, which means Wonder Woman 84, for example, will end up on HBO Max. And it's coming out actually now. This is several months after it has been released. That's how they're going to proceed with things, which means it leaves a gap on HBO Max with content. So Hamada's plan is a Marvel plan, basically. It's a Marvel plan to keep budgets in check. Now, who are the people that mismanage the budgets of these movies? And basically, we're talking about mismanaging the budget for particularly Justice League. It was Warner Media. It was these execs at Warner Brothers to start with. Okay? It was these execs at Warner Brothers to start with. They're the ones that fucked up Justice League and squandered money and resources. That's the first point. Second point, very important point. Walter Hamada is talking about cutting budget and cutting costs. Okay, and he cut the budget for Joker, and Emmerich cut the budget for Joker. They didn't want to give Joker the money, and that's the one that won the Academy Award and made $1 billion. They have been making that excuse time and time again for what they don't want to invest in. That's why it's personal. And Hamada is on the same vein as Sarnoff and Emmerich. The same mind. So don't tell me Hamada is not involved. So Hamada's plan is to try to push certain tentpole films and make these little cheap little films in between like Marvel did. And then they have the phase 2 where J.J. Abrams comes in. But J.J. Abrams doesn't, no disrespect to J.J. Abrams, but he got a track record with the fans. The fans don't like his movies. He don't have a good track record with the fans. So you're not making anybody excited to want, see, excitement is what makes movies do well at box offices or anywhere. You're not generating excitement, Warner Brothers. What you're doing is pissing people off, which is why we're getting this cancel culture, which is saying cancel HBO Max. I understand where the fans are coming from. I just don't think it's a wise decision, given that the people at Warner Brother Pictures right now, the Warner Brother Pictures side of Warner Media, they're happy that you're talking this talk, because they had nothing on you, not one damn thing. You had all the advantages, and I'm going to talk about why you had advantages. So let's get the first major advantage you guys have is AT&T. It's because of AT&T, Jason Keeler, at the time, they're the ones that took the initiative to have the Snyder Cut go to HBO Max. All these lies about there was no Snyder Cut, the Snyder Cut didn't exist. All this bullshit that Warner Brother Pictures were pitching, Toby Emmerich was pitching, was exposed. He's a liar. He lied before. He lied, said, oh, we're keeping Zack Snyder with Justice League. He lied. He's a liar. AT&T exposed that. So you guys need to get on the page. Y'all need to realize when you see something that looks inconsistent and a lie, it's because it's not from AT&T. It's coming from Warner Brother Pictures. It's coming from their arm of Warner Media. They're the ones trying to sabotage everything. They're the ones that tried to sabotage the Snyder Cut and had the leak. Toby Emmerich, they couldn't get onto Toby Emmerich's arm of Warner Media. They're the ones trying to throw the spoke in the wheel of the Snyderverse. What they want is some kind of Marvelverse. Okay, and they're pushing for that. And look, you're getting Marvel directors to do their Marvelverse. They're trying to duplicate Marvel. What we want is something distinctly different. And HBO Max is the absolutely perfect platform for that. HBO Max has the greatest spectrum of entertainment. Doom Patrol with Ridley Scott's Raised by Wolves, with sci-fi, and we got drama stories, and we got comic book stories, and we got a diversity of material on HBO Max. It is the perfect platform for Zack Snyder's Justice League. And Hamada, Emmerich, and Sarnoff know this. There is a gag order so that certain people, in fact, almost everybody that's involved with this film, can't say anything. So you haven't heard Zack Snyder even speaking about how successful the Snyder Cut has been. He has said nothing about it. The only people who have been speaking about the Snyder Cut and saying restore the Snyderverse has been Ray Fisher and Darkseid himself, Ray Porter. And some people have been removed from their post in the Snyderverse. But you're not going to hear Ben Affleck saying anything. You're not going to hear the actor who plays Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, saying anything. You haven't even heard Jason Momoa say anything. Right? There's a gag order on these people. They're still working for Warner Bros. Ray is not working with Warner Bros. Right now. Zack still has the possibility of working with him. So this is what's going on. So you're not hearing anybody say anything positive about the Snyder Cut openly. However, AT&T has been expressing what their plans are. And one of their plans is to have the Snyderverse. That's why they had the Snyder Cut on HBO Max, and they intend to go through with that. They bailed out $70 million. It wasn't Warner Brothers Pictures that bailed out any money. They have spent not a dime on it. It's not HBO Max, it's AT&T that put their money in there. And AT&T doesn't have to worry. You're thinking, AT&T, man, they're going to lose money, or Warner Media's not losing shit. Because AT&T bought Warner Media and bought what we call Warner Media now with and CNN and all these guys. They bought them for $80+ billion. So they have money to put into these things and invest into what they want. They don't need Warner Brothers Pictures to invest in anything. The problem is right now, the Warner Brothers Pictures side of things is trying to put a gag order on them to keep them quiet. That gag order is the same thing where there was a kind of like a ban on AT&T, stadium. In AT&T Stadium, have all of Zack Snyder's stuff inside of the Justice League stuff in AT&T. But there was a gag order, so you can take pictures of his storyboards. You can take pictures of everything but his storyboards. They were trying to gag Zack Snyder for people knowing what was coming ahead for Justice League 2 and 3. But we know because fans disregarded that and they still took pictures and it leaked. Okay. And then AT&T is the one that made that facility available because AT&T believes in the Snyderverse. They believe in it. They're the ones that put the Snyderverse in their presentation. They're the ones that made the Snyder Cut possible. It's never been Warner Pictures. They're trying to not have that happen. That's the big fight that's happening in there. And you guys as fans saying that you're going to cancel your subscriptions is playing into Warner Pictures' hands. They want you to cancel. They want you to break. They want you to stop supporting HBO Max because HBO Max is being competed with by Warner Brother Pictures and AT&T. AT&T wants to put certain content on there, and Warner Brother Pictures is trying to fight them to not have that content on there. It's not about putting content, not having it. But of course, AT&T, the more content they can put on their platform, the better it is for them. So they're going to continuously fight Warner Brother Pictures to ensure that that content goes on there. It's about putting content on, not about taking away content. That's why fans, you cannot engage in cancel culture. If you engage in cancel culture, then you are also giving Warner Brother Pictures the okay to cancel the Snyderverse. But we have the Arrowverse. It's not going anywhere. The Snyderverse is not going anywhere. No matter if J.J. Abrams is got this new set of people, whatever, it doesn't matter. We can have the Snyderverse and whatever Hamada wants to do. And that's what we're fighting for. We're not fighting to cancel the Hamadaverse. We're not fighting to cancel the J.J. Abrams verse or whatever they want to do. Nobody cares about that. Like I'm saying, I'm not saying nobody cares. You know what I mean? Nobody cares to cancel anything. And we should not be a cancel culture. That is cancerous. That is toxic. And we're not going to accomplish anything, especially with Warner Brother Pictures thinking you can convince them. They're already convinced. They want you gone. They want you out of HBO Max so they can push their content and try and get subscribers and people on their content. Whether they fail or not, they don't care. So don't play into their hands. So not enough funds excuse is debunked a long time ago. No matter what anybody tells you, it's bullshit. It's a bullshit excuse for them to do what they want with their programming. And they don't care about you, the fans. And we're talking about, remember, this 1.5 million tweets that happened wasn't just the Snyder Cut fandom. You can't get 1.5 million tweets with just the Snyder Cut fandom. We've tried very, very hard, and all we could generate was 500,000, 500,000 tweets. This is something that went beyond us to mainstream. So by you going into a cancel culture, which accomplished nothing with Disney, and it never accomplishes anything, what you do is you turn off those fans that would probably be on your side. What we need to do is reach out to the wider fan base. And one of the ways that's happening is because some of you, or the media is finally coming to terms with the truth, and certain media people are publishing articles which are helping us. Just very recently we've seen Snyder Cut numbers in the UK, and the Snyder Cut is right now dominating the UK, and Wonder Woman was dominating the UK, but now the Snyder Cut is dominating the UK in terms of films that are streaming #1 in rating charts. And what I'm trying to tell you guys is, I don't know if it's entered theaters yet. I thought it was entering theaters in the UK. But whether it's entering theaters or not, the Snyder Cut is dominating the UK right now. Dominating it. Okay? And don't think that for a minute that what you're doing is going unnoticed. AT&T is paying a lot of attention to your activity in the United States of America, particularly. You guys who are subscribed to HBO Max and you relentlessly watching the Snyder Cut all the time, they're paying attention to your engagement, which is, I think the Snyder Cut probably has the highest engagement, period. It has to be. It has to have very high engagement numbers. And you guys just need to keep it up. Now, when you guys unsubscribe to HBO Max, the subscription numbers go down. Obviously, you guys contributed probably about 11 million subscriptions to HBO Max in all, when you think before the Snyder Cut came out and before Wonder Woman came out to when the Snyder Cut came out and then after. You guys contributed quite a lot. And then people outside of the Snyder Cut fandom also came to HBO Max by good word of mouth from you and from your tweets and everything and the noise you made, and they watched the Snyder Cut. And I can tell you right now, a lot of verified people from all over the place have loved and enjoyed the Snyder Cut. What I'm trying to say to you is we've already built a case. AT&T has already seen what they need to see, and they're going to try and proceed forward to make it happen. But in order for it to happen, we've got to keep those numbers on HBO Max growing. But it's a phenomenon I've never seen before. The Snyder Cut is just doing so amazing that right now, gag orders on people to keep them from saying anything. That's how good it was. Okay? So they're trying to give us, as they say, Hamada burgers. They're trying to get the Hamada-verse going off. And they are challenged, and they feel that they would be at a disadvantage if the Snyderverse was still present. Obviously, it's a threat to the Hamadaverse for some reason or the other. As my boy Ping Pong Flicks, Chris Wong said. They obviously are afraid. We got them on the back foot, people. Stop giving into emotions. We are going to take this down. We are going to have the Snyderverse. The bell has already been rung, and it's not going to be unrung. So let's get it. But we, as fans, deserve to get it. Here's another title for you guys. Is Warner Brothers Pictures attacks personal? Yes, of course it is. It's personal between Toby Emmerich. Toby Emmerich, since he's come on, has been on the wrong side of just about every decision. He's the reason why Justice League flopped. He's the reason why we haven't gotten a really massive hit. He never promoted the Joker. Yes, he talked about Aquaman. Aquaman did make money, but Aquaman could have made so much more. It underperformed in some respects. And then on top of that, they have had no other hits, no other billion-dollar movies because of Toby Emmerich. He should go. He is the last of them to go, of the old crop who did not leave. He was supposed to have left. He lies, and he lies completely, and he uses dirty methods to try and have his way. He will hold back funding on certain films. He's done it for the Snyder Cut. He did it for Todd Phillips' Joker. So this talk about Warner Bros. Pictures doesn't have funds. They don't need to have funds because it's not coming from them. It's coming from AT&T. AT&T will fund whatever they have to fund and find partners for whatever they need to find. So it's not up to them. So why are they putting a gag order on AT&T and everybody associated with the Snyder Cut? I will tell you why. Because it never was about money. It never was about funding. It's been personal. They want Zack Snyder to leave the universe. They don't want Zack Snyder doing their movies. That's the long and short of it. It has nothing to do with whether they have funding or whether it's fiscally feasible. Obviously, it's fiscally feasible if you want it. They don't want it. AT&T wants to take it over and fiscally be responsible for it because they made a ton of money off of the Snyder Cut. So obviously the Ayer Cut, they want a ton of money with that. And when you're building up with these low budget films, like for instance, the Batfleck movie, the Batfleck movie is not going to cost a whole set of money. So what is this bullshit that Walter Hamada is talking about, fiscally responsible and the Snyderverse can't happen and it's a cul-de-sac? What about the Deathstroke movie? You think that was going to cost a lot of money? The Atom movie, you think it's going to cost a lot of money? Those movies are not going to cost a lot of money. And we all know Justice League Part 2 and Part 3 will not cost the kinds of money. It will not even hit $300 million. That's at max $250 million film with the old technology they were using. With newer technology, it'll be easier to make 2 and 3, and it'll cost even less. It might be even cost even under $200 million to make if they really run a tight ship. Okay, but I see it being a $200 million film, somewhere around the cost of Wonder Woman, etc. So all I'm saying is, it's bullshit that Tommy Emmerich and Walter Hamada are giving you guys. Don't believe the bullshit. So how does the media play a role in this whole thing? Well, like I said before, WB has their spinners and their shills that put out inaccurate information, or they couch the information in such a way to make you believe certain things, but it's really deceptive. What's happening now is we're getting media pieces from major media places online, which are now exposing this and exposing one piece spoke about, okay, you guys trying to propose a multiverse, but then you're not really about the multiverse because you want to pick and choose which parts of the multiverse you want. If you say that all these different things in the multiverse can exist, then you should be cool with Zack Snyder's universe happening along with the other universes. And he lists the different universes. You got the animated universes, you have the Arrowverse, you got DCU Online, you got Hamadaverse right now that we have running. Okay, and all those universes are cool. Why is it the only universe that you don't want happening is the Snyderverse? And so these are the kinds of things that now the hypocrisy is being pointed out. And of course, all those pieces, even by the reputable Hollywood Reporter who interviewed Ray Fisher recently, and now we have another reputable, a lot of reputable actually making rounds on reputable reporting like Variety, etc., which has just interviewed the Green Lantern gentleman. And that Green Lantern gentleman also, because we have all of these social media platforms where people, not only within the Snyderverse, but smaller media houses like myself, etc., on YouTube, now actors can make the rounds through YouTube, through Twitch, and through other smaller media houses and get access to bigger media houses online. And so now they're getting much more say and people are getting to know what's happening. So now there's a lot of bad press that's come out of Warner Brothers recently. And of course, they're trying to diffuse it by making announcements and other things at the same time. Right now, they just put out a really ridiculous YouTube Justice League trailer, which none of us are going to watch because none of us are interested in it. And don't go watching it if you're not interested. If you're not interested, just don't bother with it because it's just going to be clickbait. So don't do it if you know you're not going to be interested. And so all I'm saying is the fans are smarter than that. We are sensible, much more sensible than that. We shouldn't be trying to earmark a day to cancel HBO. That's stupid. What we should be doing instead is we should be galvanizing and coming back stronger with Restore the Snyderverse. And let's make another tweet bonanza. But besides the tweet bonanza, also support by watching the movie more and enjoying it. Enjoy your victory because other victories are going to come and they're going to come much faster. The air cut's going to come next year. I'm guaranteeing you that. It's coming next year. I don't care how many Hamada burgers want to go up on HBO Max, and I'm calling them Hamada burgers just because I want to clown Walter Hamada and his stupid plan. That's a Marvel plan. Obviously, it's a Marvel plan. Oh, it doesn't matter how many Hamada burgers come up on HBO Max. AT&T is going to be pushing, as we are going to be pushing, for the Snyderverse to go up on HBO Max, which means David Ayer's Suicide Squad. The other thing we as fans need to start pushing for heavily is that Zack Snyder's Justice League ends up in theaters in the US and then globally, even if it's in a limited amounts in the US first or wherever in the world, and then globally, it needs to get into theaters. We're going to push for these things, and we need to keep on pushing for things we want. And don't forget to support AFSB and Feeding America. Keep on keeping those charities in the forefront. With controversies becomes a lot of attention, and a lot of attention is focused on these charities, and that's a very good thing for them, so that people will know where to go, what they can do. Also, we can support and get more donations to us. These are the things we need to keep on pressing for relentlessly. You know, somebody said, man, it's like a mosquito in these people's faces. Let them know we're not going anywhere. We're not backing down, and we're coming at you. And we're coming at you every single step of the way. When you open your mouth, I think DC Fandom's supposed to happen somewhere in October. Again, hit them with the Snyderverse. Hit them with the Snyderverse. Keep on hitting them. That's what we did before Comic-Con, everywhere. We're going to get results faster because we got a lot of momentum on our side, and we got AT&T on our side, and we got Jason Keeler on our side, and we got some people in HBO Max on our side, and we got some people in Warner Media on our side. We got a lot more support than we think. Just because we're not getting the feedback that we think we're supposed to get doesn't mean that we're not compiling more and more support. A lot of people believe us now after seeing the Snyder Cut and knowing that it existed. We need allies from everywhere. We need warriors. We need people to go out and say, this is what the situation is, and go for it. It doesn't matter how many scoopers. It doesn't matter how many poopers. It doesn't matter who says what. We must continue to strive and push positively in positive ways for the Snyderverse. They say that we're toxic. Don't give them toxicity. Don't give them an inch or a nickel. Keep on yelling, keep on screaming, keep on making noise. Zack Snyder wants you to put it on repeat. Don't delete. He said that. Do it. Do it. Just do it. Focus on things you love. Sometimes taking a breath away from Twitter is good. But you know your boy gonna be fighting it down for you guys. We're gonna get the Snyderverse. But the only way to get it is through HBO Max. That's the vehicle and platform we have so far. AT&T is 100% behind us. Let's not let ourselves down. Let's keep pushing at it. Those of you who cannot maintain the bill for HBO Max, I understand you canceling your subscription. I understand. If you can't financially maintain it, that's okay. But don't be telling me you canceling because of some stupid little tweet. Are you serious? We've gone through so much in those 4 years that a tweet's going to tick you off, and emotionally that makes it, no way, I'm not playing that. I don't care what. I don't know if the person who exposed that tweet and everything was a mole or what, but you're not going to destroy the movement off of a fucking tweet. Get out of here with that shit. Okay? So we have to stand up and be stronger than that. And that's all I'm saying. I said my piece. If you guys don't want to say your piece, that's okay. But that's what we must do. So let's step up and do what we're supposed to do, people. Let's step up to the plate. I know some of you guys are fuming over the shit that we have to tolerate from HBO Max, from all of these stupid moles in there for Toby Emmerich and Sarna and Walter Hamada. But let me let you guys know one thing. The way to be successful against these guys, the way to get back at them is to succeed. We succeeded with the Snyder Cut when these dogs wanted us to fail. And I'm calling them dogs, and I don't really care how they feel about it. But they dogs. They're trying to feed off the bones of people. They're trying to deflate our excitement. They're trying to take away our joy as fans. They're dogs, and they behave dirty and nasty and underhand. And they lie. They're dogs. And you know what they said about dogs? They said that dogs, they eat off the bones of people. But we don't have to be dogs like them. We don't have to stay in the trenches like them. We don't have to be lowlives like them. They have to cheat, steal, and lie to keep their positions in their companies. We don't have to do that. Okay? So, you know, and maybe I'm libeling Walter Hamada because he wasn't really associated with that, but he sided with Ann Sarnoff and he sided with Toby Emmerich, so therefore he's a dog too, because he's trying to do dirty methods. I thought about how dirty they were against Ben Affleck and how Matt Reeves got the Batman. I understand how the fans felt because it was like they sabotaged Ben. Now, there's another thing that some people gave the scoopers said that Ben Affleck, he probably is not going to be directing his own movie, the Batman movie. Again, like I said, Gavin O'Connor has directed 2 Ben Affleck's movies. So I really truly believe Gavin O'Connor would be a great director for the Batman movie. So I already think that Ben will have that in place for that movie. Again, I hope you guys have a good one. It was fun talking with you guys and being real with you guys. I want to let you guys know one thing, and it was in Wonder Woman 84. Nothing good comes from lies. So those people who are lying and cheating and behaving really low down and dirty against the fans, they're not going to last. Their time and their period will never be as successful as they would like it to be, because they move by dirty means. They don't move by clean means. Keep your hearts pure, people. Don't go to the gutter like they do. Don't behave like they do. Instead, try and rise above it and look at how Zack Snyder behaves and how his attitude is, and try and do the same thing. Okay? Zack's not a guy who's even focused on him. Right now, it's Army of the Dead. That's the next big thing. That's May 2nd. Guys, keep your eyes on the prize. Don't let these clowns keep you distracted, man. Okay? Don't let them get distracted, and don't let them take your joy from you. And don't be reactionary. Think about the situation. Respond intellectually. First of all, the information that was given on that graphic about, the opening debut figures of whatever the freaking movies were. I can't remember. I think it was Wonder Woman 84, Godzilla versus Kong, and what was it? Mortal Kombat. Those things don't matter. What I mean by that is those figures they didn't even give figures. the stuff that they gave, the information, it's all about subscriptions at the end of the day. And we know the numbers for the subscriptions for at least approximate numbers for the subscription for the Snyder Cut, right? About 2.7 million people. That was really good. So it did very well. So don't you guys worry about nothing. Oh, by the way, it's topped the Apple TV charts, and it's also not Apple TV. Sorry, it topped the what is it called? iTunes charts. It's number 1 on iTunes, and it's number 1 in the UK. So you guys don't let this stuff keep you down. Stay positive. We are still moving forward with the Snyderverse. Okay. I saw what AT&T said to David Ayer. It's one step at a time. So we're going to move one step at a time. But at the same time, don't shut up. Don't let nobody shut you up. Keep on talking about Restore the Snyderverse wherever you go on online. Let people get more engaged and more involved. A lot of people watching the Snyder Cut even now, and they're enjoying it, and they're leaving comments on it. And a lot of verifieds are leaving comments. I'll do some videos on that soon enough. But just keep committed. I'm so happy that we got so many of us out here now. We got a lot more of us in social media and all around. It was only me by my lonesome self and a couple of other stranglers who was here on YouTube to fight down the battle when it came to Batman v Superman. And boy, did we fight our asses off. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget when I started meeting people of similar minds. It was hard because a lot of people just try to be politically correct about the issue. I started talking a lot of hogwash and shit. And I wasn't going to have it. So similarly here, I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to have a whole bunch of people just canceling the subscriptions just because Ann Sarnoff, Toby Emmerich, and Walter Hamada want them to. No, fuck no. And so I'm not going to back down. I'm not going to stand down. I'm going to catch you guys later. I'm Kai Sam Disciple. Sorry about the F-bombs. But every now and then it slips through. Just how I feel about the situation. You guys got to be smarter than this, man. I know Zach can't really speak to this moment and speak to this issue because he's probably focused on something else. But guys, we had Justice Con. We had Justice Con. For fuck's sake, man. Think before you talk, man. People, we got the engine. We got the materials together. We have a fucking movement here. Okay? It's not like when the Snyder Cut first began and there was just a few of us stragglers out there. It's not like with BVS. We have an established engine in place. And now we have AT&T on our side. Let's stop being idiots and gloom and doom, and let's push forward. We're going to get what we want, and in a much shorter time than the Snyder Cut. It ain't going to take no fucking 4 years. It's not even going to take 3 years. Well, it might take 3 years before we get Justice League 2. Okay? It might take about 3 years, or maybe 3 years, maybe. I don't want them to rush it. So 3 years is okay by me, because I know there's nothing on the table except for a couple of storyboards. So, guys, Justice League 2 is coming, but it's not going to come immediately. Obviously, this is common sense. If even if they started on Justice League tomorrow, it's still going to take 2 years before it comes out to fruition because they got a lot of things to do. So about 3 years before Justice League 2 comes, stay excited. In the meantime, we can get all kinds of things. The Air Cut, we can get a Batman movie, we could get a Deathstroke movie, we could get an Atom movie. Fuck it, man. We could get a Cyborg movie even. Okay? If HBO Max believes in Ray Fisher and what he's doing, and they see him for what he is, he might get his own fucking Cyborg movie or Cyborg series or something. But you got to plan it out. You got to think it out. And so right now, this is the plan out, think out stage for AT&T, Zack Snyder, all these people at the table. It's going to happen, but we got to give it some time. Okay? You're definitely going to get the Air Cut, hopefully, very soon. But we're talking about next year. Okay, right after what's the guy's name? God damn it. James Gunn's Suicide Squad. Okay? So stay, guys, stay pumped, stay excited. The Snyderverse is coming. And anything else you want to see, whether it's Matt Reeves' Batman or Black Adam or even James Gunn's Suicide Squad, go see it. Listen, guys, it's about enjoying yourself, enjoying life, thinking positive, trying to do constructive things. That's what we're about here. So if that's what tickles your fancy, then go get it. But let's not be like HBO Max, so what the hell am I saying? Let's not be like Warner Brother Pictures and canceling out things. We don't want Warner Brother Pictures to cancel out the Snyderverse. So why the fuck would we cancel out HBO Max? That makes no damn sense, man. So let's try to focus. And in fact, the media outlets that just published talked about criticizing Warner Brother Pictures for trying to cancel out the Snyderverse. They actually criticized that because of the multiverse. They've been talking, man. They've been talking. So what the fuck are we doing? Are we going to now just turn 180 degrees to what Warner Brothers is doing and start fucking up our own opportunities? Stupid, man. We got the media on our side. Some media, at least. R.I.P. El Recitas. Ash 75, Ash 79 says Warner Brothers just killed him with laughter. They uploaded the Justice League trailer. I know, bro. I saw it already. I didn't see it, but I saw I didn't go watch it, but I saw the icon thing that's being on YouTube, and I was like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. It's like, ain't nobody want to see no fucking Justice League. We done with that shit. Everybody on YouTube been saying that the Justice League version is shit. And then they come out and you know what I'm saying? Like they really retarded, man. They gotta be retarded fools. So put that shit out there. You know what I'm saying? But don't worry about that. It's because they're getting squeezed. They're getting squeezed. Y'all don't even know. AT&T putting the heat on them now. He started putting heat on them. Oh, it's all like boiled corn. Trust me. Because remember, AT&T came in, bought out the Snyder Cut, and they did it, right? And guess what? AT&T might just come through again and do something else. You know what I'm saying? Buy out the Air Cut and start the Snyderverse, maybe even sooner. So AT&T's trying to keep the peace, trying to be nice. They try to play nice, and they ain't gonna play nice forever. Saul Martin says, the like and dislike ratio is hilarious. Man, I don't know, man. These guys are just like clowns, man. They're like, like they say, the border clowns. They put that shit out. Man, people don't like it. Of course, people aren't going to like the movie. But guess what? They're going to get views. Don't give them no damn views. Show them that movie is irrelevant. Don't even give them views. You know what I'm saying? Don't give them views. I mean, this shit movie. Nobody want to see that shit. Stupid. So anyway, and it's not just the Snyder Cut people. Like, they so stupid. Like really? Like, nobody cares about that freaking movie. Nobody. Like, it's universal. Like, there are a few people, one or two, who like it and whatever. I used to like it, and now I don't give a shit about it. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, Saul Martin, you know what it is. You know what it is. AT&T been proven right now a bunch of times. That's why they got to put the gag order on AT&T. That's why they got to put the gag order on it. We know what it is. Yeah. 79 says, I'm having a long Joker-worthy laugh. I hear you, brother. Man, these are dude. We don't even. I don't even want to focus on these clowns, man. These guys are clowns, dude. They clowns. They clowns. Okay, and we can all see it. Okay, that's why I don't understand why you guys even can't. Why some of the people out there canceling their subscription? They'll be like, nah, look at the clown. Look at the clown. Look at the clown. That's what we supposed to be doing, because we winning this. We winning this battle. They clowns. Okay, so you know, I think Hamada has like 2 years. Emmerich, I don't know what, somebody need to get rid of Emmerich, but you know what? I don't care about those clowns. I'm focused on what really matters, which is the Snyderverse. And if you see a good film out there that you like, it's a DC film, or there's a DC animated film that came out, again, Zack Snyder stuff. It just came out, Justice League, I think War 2 or whatever it is. Y'all go check it out, man. The animated, if you got money, you could buy it. If not, then screw it. But my point is, it's all inspired by Zack Snyder shit. It's all inspired by Zack Snyder shit. So so when they say, oh, the Snyderverse is a cul-de-sac, man, shut up, clown. Just shut up. Shut up, clown. Ain't nobody listening to you. You know what I mean? They clowns. You know what I mean? No disrespect to nobody, but they are clowns. Okay, I didn't even watch the Justice League trailer. I was like, hey, these guys are clowns. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect, but this is what it is. And I'm free enough to say it because I'm not really affiliated with nothing. That's the nice thing about being independent media. You're not trying to get paid by Warner Brothers. So you have to pick and choose your words. No. Okay. I'm happy for Zach that he got the Netflix thing. You know what I'm saying? And Netflix is really working well with him. And then he got some guy that he previously worked with. So that's good too. So the situation is really nice up in there, you know. But you heard Christopher Nolan, how Warner Brothers move was really stupid. And guess who was behind that stupid move when they wanted to just stream most of the movies and left out Christopher Nolan? Guess who? Toby Emmerich. I don't want to curse, so I won't. But let me just put it to you this way. In the middle of every single screw up, you'll find Toby Emmerich there. What is he doing? Being the head of Warner Media, at least, the Warner Brothers Picture side of Warner Media. I don't know, bro. I don't understand. But I'm not going to focus on that fool. I'm going to focus on, and liar, by the way, I'm going to focus on what we need to focus on. Otherwise, we go down the same road. We become negative. We become, caustic. You know what I mean? Emmerich's there to stay, but so are we. I hear you, brother. No, he's not there to stay. His ass need to get out of there. And he can find somebody like Greg Silverman to replace him. Because he needs to be replaced. We all know this. Everybody's talked about it, that these executives need to get removed. And there's so much data and information compiling on them while they're just blowing it continuously. So don't worry. The media is covering it. We're covering it. Emmerich's a clown. He should have gone. But everybody takes the fall but Emmerich. Oh, we'll see about that. So anyway, peoples, this is what we got. I'm going to catch you guys later. Before I leave, I want to leave you guys with some scriptural. And that's the next thing about Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder always bringing up Christian stuff. They don't like Zack Snyder for that. Some of them worship Satan. Straight up Satan. That's why. Zack always bringing some Christian something in there. They don't like Zack Snyder, I tell you, man. But it's all good. It's all good. Let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. So last time I gave you all the shortest piece of scripture ever, which came from John chapter 2, 35. And guess what? Zack Snyder actually we found out that Superman was resurrected and died at 2 hours, and I think 2 hours 32 minutes, between 2 hours 32 minutes, 2 hours 32 to 30, 32 to 57 minutes or something like that. Okay. It can be 57 minutes. Oh, it was 2 hours 32 minutes 57 seconds. That was something like that, right? Something like that. So when you look at that passage of scripture, yep, resurrection. So Jesus' wept is inside of there. That's why I actually took that and used that. All right, man. I landed on a beatitude. So I'm gonna hit you guys with a beatitude. Sorry about the F-bombs, by the way, people, and a little cussing that I did. Yo, I'm just like you guys. I feel the same way. Trust me. I get emotional myself. I get angry the same way you guys feel, but I know I have to think through it. I can't just go with my emotions. Yo, it's a beatitude. I don't know what you guys know what a beatitude is. It's kind of like a blessing. It says this. It goes like this. Blessed are they that mourn, they shall be comforted. Blessed are the humble, they shall inherit the earth. I'm going to leave it right there. So weeping endures for a night, but joy comes in the morning. And we've seen this in Zack Snyder's movies a lot, and we're also seeing it right now. We're being tested. This is the hero's journey. You always get tested. You always get tested at every angle. That anything that's good, and that's a biblical thing, and it's also a life thing. Okay, so if you right now are feeling down and out and depressed, I understand, guys. I understand. Okay, I really do. I feel you guys. But guess what? You will be comforted, and guess what? You will be humble, and because of that, you'll get everything. It says you'll inherit the earth. That means we're going to get the Snyder freaking verse, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get it all. But to do so, you always have to go through a crucible. You always have to go through this testing. And we're being tested. Right? Same thing Zack Snyder be talking about. It's the same thing I believe as a Christian. So it's nothing new to me, but or maybe to you, but it's something new to the screen. Okay? I'm going to catch you guys later. Christ, I am disciple. Out. You guys have a good one, okay? Peace.